GTA is one of the most popular games in the world. The game is mainly about your character being a criminal and doing story missions that include killing people, stealing from enemy gangs, and mugging people. Or maybe it's not. GTA is a sandbox style game, which means that it encourages players to explore and interact with the virtual environment. The objective of a sandbox game is for the player to interact with the mechanics and environment of the game freely, with no limitations or rules. Players are able to play at their own pace and do not have to adhere to any specific actions or objectives. This concept is called player agency, which refers to the user's ability to make choices and actions that impact the game. But we'll dive more into that later. With GTA being a sandbox-style game, it means that yes, you could follow the storyline, complete the missions, and progress your character the way that the game intends. On the other hand, you can just explore the map, run, walk, or drive all across different destinations, or mindlessly go hurt civilians. You can do anything, and that is the appeal of Grand Theft Auto to many players, the ability to do whatever you want. But that's not really the case. There are hundreds of aspects to GTA where you do not have control. You aren't able to access certain buildings, you can't just teleport wherever you want to, you can't go off the map, etc. If you do choose to follow the storyline, you aren't able to do something in the game to avoid a cutscene showing up on the screen. If you fail a mission, it makes you redo the mission from the last checkpoint. So why do people feel in control when playing this game? Let's circle back to that concept of player agency. Player agency gives the user this sense of control in the game. It satisfies that need of control and allows the player's mind to roam freely into that flow state and just do whatever they like. The sense of control, the sense of agency, is biologically built into every human. We all have this innate sense of agency that gives us the control of our actions and consequences. And on that point, I think this is where GTA struck gold with their game. That one word, consequences. In the game, you can commit crimes with no consequences, whereas in real life, obviously, that's not the case. The reason why you feel like you are in control is because GTA creates a realistic style world with no real world consequence. There are no rules, and technically no restriction to how much of an action you can do. If you wanted to, you could just drive in the game like a civil citizen. Now, let's compare it to a game that we played in class, Perfect Vermin. The premise of this game is that the player is tasked with destroying everything in sight to find these vermin. Okay, so what does that have to do with GTA? Although these are two completely different games, their methods of control are the same. Both give the user the ability to go around the environment and do what they want. They could just stay and do nothing or follow the storyline. However, at the end of the day, the game has its own restrictions regardless of whatever the game gives the user the ability to do. GTA is a great example of what Andrew Galloway talks about in Gamic Action for Moments. A majority of the game will be diegetic operator acts, which is action that occurs within the game from the user. That could be the whole game itself. You can simply just choose to not follow the missions and explore the map, doing other activities. However, if you choose to follow the storyline, you will encounter a variety of cutscenes, which is an example of the game's diegetic machine acts. Lastly, GTA allows you to pause the game to look at the map, mark a checkpoint, or even use a smartphone in the game itself. This is an example of the non-diegetic operator act. The game also has a HUD that shows your health and wanted level whenever you play the game, which is an example of a non-diegetic machine act. Another reason how GTA gives the player this false sense of control is how open the game is itself. The game's virtual world is massive with so many different things going on at once. With that, the game gives you numerous activities to do, and because there's so many things that the player can do within the game, it provides this false sense of autonomy. I believe that these are the two reasons why sandbox games like GTA give the player this synthetic sense of control.